The Association for the Preservation of Geneseo, in celebration of SUNY Geneseo's sesquicentennial anniversary, presents the Riviera Theater, past, present, and future. Joseph April, a cobbler born in Italy, came to Geneseo in about 1892. In 1907, he purchased the building where the theater stands and opened up a cobbler's shop. In 1914, Mr. April erected a new brick building on Center Street to serve as the motion picture theater, the Rex, the first in Geneseo. The theater was originally used for vaudeville shows, a type of entertainment popular in the U.S. through the 1920s, featuring burlesque comedy, song, and dance. In 1929, the first talkie, Lucky Boy, was played at the theater. Also introduced that night were Mickey and Minnie Mouse in Walt Disney's first cartoon with synchronized sound, Steamboat Willie. In the 1930s, the theater was renamed the Riviera, where it served a vital place in the community. The current owner and operator, Don Livingston, recalls his favorite memories and stories of the theater.
Well, I could ramble for hours. I'll just tell you some of my favorite stories that I've been told. The theater really, from what I've pieced together, was more of a community center than anything else. It did everything from blood drives, bond drives during the war. They did food drives. I think it was a meeting place for the town for a very long time. They used it as a part of, national things as far as local things. The people of the town, besides their wants, they'd run a child's movie. It was one of my favorite stories. They'd run a child's movie, and the people of town would contact Josephine and want to know if it's a child-appropriate movie, and they'd all send their kids down here. The movies were, I think, 15 cents, and they'd send them down here, and then she was basically the village daycare. At the end of the day, of course, times were different then. She'd open up the doors and send them all home, and they'd walk home down through the streets, and it was a nice, safe Saturday afternoon. We talked earlier, I've been talking to people about this for the last several days. Our front doors were changed, because of the war, because of the blackout lights. The original doors were here when we bought the building. They were down in the basement, mostly rotted away, but everybody remembers the portal type doors. And they really weren't the originals. The originals were a bright, big glass door, but because of the blackout laws, these were put in to cut down on the light that was shining out on the streets. I mean, it's a very interesting story. It's funny, people reminisce about the way it used to be. People come in when we were renovating. They talk about, oh, I remember that chandelier up there. It was beautiful, it was gorgeous. We let them talk on, and they talk about the seats, and the chandelier was never there. We added that because we thought it was appropriate. I believe in the old picture it does show some lights up there, but the chandelier we just thought it needed it. The seats, that's a different story. The seats, when we got here, it was still the same old rundown seats. I'm sure everybody in town remembers, even a lot of the alumni come in, and there was 2x4s screwed to the floor so that if you sat down in the seat, you wouldn't fall all the way to the floor. That was the only way to stop you. The seats were in such disrepair, but everybody knew that's what was here, and you kind of chose your seat carefully. It was quite comical because underneath the stage that was almost rotted away, there was a full set of brand new seats, but they never got around to putting them in. And of course, there's everybody remembers sneaking in on the side door here. The movie get rolling, and they'd sneak their buddies in on the side door. Every time somebody come in, you'd have a new story.
So what have you kept about the original theater?
When we rebuilt it back to, we very much took the design from an old picture that was in the college library. I think it's dated around 1935. The colors changed, but when we remodeled, we found these original colors on the wall, the green and gold. The medallions you see on the walls, they were there. We put them back, they were gone. But as far as saving the originals, the brass railings were original. The old exit lights in the back, the old glass in the back, that's all original. Popcorn machine was the first one they had here.
Still working too.
Still working. It's got a lot of weird parts in it, but it still works. That's the original candy display case, but the building had sat for so long empty that the interior was pretty much destroyed. And we just kind of went by photographs, the one interior photograph, to bring it back as close as we could.
Mm-hmm. What are your plans for this theater now?
Well, it's the same as the beginning. We're not entertainers, we're not promoters, we're not any of that. When we bought it and decided to do all this, we decided on a 3-phase plan. We have the entertainment center. We opened up an establishment 2 down so you could have alcohol and drinks and small finger foods. Our plan always was to, in between the 2 buildings, we own that one as well. We're going to put some kind of restaurant venue in there and open it up so you can travel between the 3 inside and you can sit down and have dinner and a show. We're going to proceed with that this summer. We had a record-breaking year planned for the year of COVID, that's what I'm going to call it. We had the best thing, we had concerts planned, we had shows planned, we had a good year coming. Probably some of the best entertainment the town has seen in 40 years. We're hoping to get back to that again real soon. Talked about this briefly before. The college used the place a lot. That was one of the things we really enjoyed. We wanted the place to be used. That was the biggest thing. The entertainment venue, the concerts, all that was nice. We ran movies as kind of a lost leader. But we wanted the place to be used. College appreciated the place. They really did. Whether it was the kids, whether it was the departments, whether it was the department heads, whether it was the administration, they appreciated the place.